Ashleigh. If you're new here, welcome. I create content all around the Chicagoland area, festivals and raves, and just my experiences traveling around the country, going to festivals. First off, if you have been a subscriber, I just want to say shout out to you. Thank you so much for still being here with me. I know this channel hasn't been consistent, and you know what? I'm trying to be easier on myself. Having a new baby, it changes your life. It changes just how your family functions. You know, we've gone through this before. This is my second. I had Alana recently. She's 2 now, but we're still getting in the swing of things. And with that being said, 2024 hasn't been the best year for me. I've gone through a lot personally, so that's why videos aren't as consistent as they should be. But I'm hoping, you know, as my kids mature, I'll be able to bring more content to you all that's more on a consistent basis. So you're a real one if you're still here. If you enjoy watching my content, make sure you hit that like button and share it with a friend of yours. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm at around 860 right now. So if you can recommend my channel to somebody, please do. But anyways, without further ado, it's ARC season. As you all know, this will be my 4th ARC. I've gone to the past 3 years, and actually I am missing the 2022 vlogs. If you have looked at my channel just to kind of go back to see my experiences, those actually I might go back and do like a rewind vlog if you're interested in that, just to show you kind of how this festival has evolved over time. But first, I just have to say that ARC is my home festival. It's my favorite festival. I am a househead through and through. So ARC is the perfect festival if you love house music. First off, I saw some comments online about the lineup. If you haven't looked at the lineup, it is more house focused this year, and that's because Chicago is the home of house music. That's why we love Chicago. So it makes sense that this festival is going to be centered around house music, as it is the birthplace of house music. It does have some techno acts, but the focus is on house. And this year's lineup is particularly important because it is the anniversary of the start of house music. It's been 40 years, so the city and ARC and our residents, all of them have been really drumming up, celebrating the 40th anniversary of house music. They actually had an exhibit at the Chicago Cultural Center. They've been doing pop-up DJ sets with some of the legends in house music. They are actually doing one coming up next week with Green Velvet, aka Cashmere. So this is a really important time for house music. So I'm so glad that ARC is, you know, really being thoughtful about celebrating house music overall, specifically in Chicago where it all started. And they also did a pop-up with Derek Carter as well over the summer. So kudos to Artists Presents for you know, prioritizing that this year. We have some new additions to the ARC family that have yet to actually play at ARC. Cascade, he's from Chicago, so that is a really big moment. Disclosure, Carl Cox is coming back, and he's doing a special back-to-back with Green Velvet, so there's a lot going on this year. If you're disappointed in the techno in the lineup this year, there is a reason why. It's the 40th anniversary. And I should also say that, you know, Movement Music Festival, which happens in May, that is located in Detroit, which isn't too far away from Chicago, and that is going to be a more techno-focused festival. So I would say if you're a huge techno artist, you might want to check that one out. But just know that if you're coming to Chicago and you're going to ARC, house is going to be the focus of this particular festival. Some great changes to the festival this year. I actually filmed a TikTok or reel, Instagram reel all about this. They're expanding the expansions stage. They had a special lineup that featured just all of these amazing back-to-backs. Again, they're elevating it, I think, especially for the 40th anniversary. So I'll make sure to put that up here. And then also, they're returning to Union Park, but they are expanding just their footprint in Union Park. So I think that that's really going to be important, especially with some of the big acts that we have coming to ARC this year. They're going to need the space because I can anticipate that the crowds are going to be pretty big. As of today, ARC is not sold out. They still have some VIP tickets available in both tiers. I believe GA is sold out. Last year, if you saw my recap, the one thing I was disappointed in is ARC is becoming more popular, and we love that for her. But with that, I feel like this will be this year a test if they can keep it in Union Park. It was very crowded, especially on Saturday with John's Summit. You can definitely see a shift in the crowd. So I really hope that ARC doesn't forget its roots. They don't forget that those origins of house music, which it seems like this lineup is going back to, and that they really make sure that space is optimal. Instead of doing a lineup review like I typically would, I just decided to wait until all the set times were out so you know kind of what I would recommend, what my choices are. And we are in luck because the schedule for the set times has come out today. So I'm gonna walk through with you my top picks for these days. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna explore artists that I don't know. I really believe in exploring and trying new music. And the thing that I love about ARC, that I've said this many a times, is that it is a smaller footprint, so you can move and jump around and split sets a lot easier than you would with the larger festivals. So that does give us the opportunity to really explore and try new artists that we've never heard before. Looking at Friday, what really stands out to me is all of the artists that are at the beginning are typically the smaller, less known artists, but right at 3 p.m. we have DJ Heather. DJ Heather is a legend in the house music space, so I would definitely check her out at the Grid. This is where the conflicts begin. So we have DJ Wara. I love her. I've seen her before. I think I saw her at North Coast the last time. She's an amazing house artist. Cassian is at the Grid. And then we have Horioko Yamamura. I am so bad at names, so I hope I didn't mess that up. But back to back with DJ Hyperactive at Expansion. So definitely an opportunity to move around and check those acts out. Then I know that Sven Vath, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but is at the Grid. I believe that's a techno artist. If you're interested in techno, this is where I think I could definitely kind of move around stages and try someone new, because there's no one that really stands out to me that I particularly wanted to see. But then when we get to around 7 o'clock, we have Medusa at the Grid, and we have Sonny Fedora back-to-back Eats Everything. I've always wanted to go see Sonny Fedora. I love his music, so I really want to go and check him out. And then the biggest conflict that's controversial right now is the Charlotte DeWitt Cascade redo at Elro and Sarah Laundry at Expansions. So definitely a conflict. I actually think this is a good thing because I was very concerned about Cascade being at Elro. The Elro stage is amazing. It's immersive. You definitely get really interactive experience. If you don't know what Elro is, they have these huge cannons that they shoot off. There's performing artists. They have a very immersive stage. It's very colorful, and it's a great space. And I'm excited for Cascade to actually be doing a set there, but I'm worried about the space just because Cascade is such a big name, and he's from Chicago. And if anyone knows, if you've seen Cascade in Chicago, he's just on another level, and he has a huge fan base here. So I'm a little concerned about the tent because there typically is crowd issues there. It gets really hot, even if you're in VIP. So for me personally, I think I'm going to put myself in a position to be at Elro to see Sonny Fedora and then just stay there for Cascade. Although I love Charlotte DeWitt and Sarah Landry, I think that's just going to be my preference. You just can't miss Cascade in Chicago. Saturday starts off very similar. At Area 909 though, around 3 p.m., there is DJ Holographic, back-to-back Sean J. Wright. I really think that that would be really interesting to see. I've never seen DJ Holographic or Sean White, but I think that it would be a great back-to-back to experience. And then I've seen Azeka. She's amazing. She's going to be at Expansions at 4. Definitely one of the best female house artists right now. I just love her style. And actually, she is married to someone who is on the group Gorgon City. So it's really cool that they're both playing on the same day. So I would definitely check out Azeka at Expansions at 4. Then at 6 p.m., this is where I start to have conflicts. So there's Mal P at the Grid at 5:30. There's Chase West back-to-back Beltron at Elro. There is House in HD with Terry Hunter back-to-back Mike Dunn. Now, I'll start with Terry Hunter back-to-back Mike Dunn. They played Area 909 last year, and it was one of the best sets that I saw. Definitely classic Chicago house. Area 909, the stage is just so intimate. It's really a place where you can get up and close with the DJs. It kind of feels like a small little warehouse or, you know, a small venue within a festival, which I think is so cool that they recreated that. I would definitely check out part of the set there, and then I would probably come over and go see Chase West or Mal P, maybe split and see both. I really want to see Mal P. He's been hot right now, and a lot of his music have just been straight bangers in my opinion. So I'm really excited that he's coming to Chicago. I think this is one of the first times he's been here. So the opportunity to see him will be great. I do anticipate that set to be really crowded though. So depending on how the crowd size is, I might have to shift around. So then after that, right after Mal P at the Grid, you have Gorgon City at 7. I love Gorgon City. They've played ARC before. They just came out with a new album. So I definitely think that it would be a great set to see, just to hear their new music live. At Elro, this is kind of where the conflict comes in for me. You have Honey Love back-to-back Dennis Fuhrer. I saw Dennis Fuhrer at EDC last year, and he was amazing. If you don't know who he is just a legend in house music. You definitely should check him out. I think back-to-back with Honey Love would just be amazing. So he's at Elro. I think that would be a great set to catch. And then you have Golfos, which is Pasha back-to-back Dennis Cruz. I love Dennis Cruz. I've seen Dennis Cruz before here in Chicago at a local event. I think he opened for Green Velvet once. I would definitely check that out at Expansions. Expansions is a great stage too. It's a great vibe. So definitely want to make sure that I go to a few sets there. At 9 o'clock, at kind of like the prime time spot, there's huge conflicts. There's Dom Dalla, which we love Dom Dalla. I actually haven't seen Dom Dalla in a while, actually. The last time I saw him live was, I think it was at EDC. The last time he's been in Chicago that I'm aware of was Spring Awakening, the last Spring Awakening in Huffington Heights. And he was not known whatsoever. No one knew who he was. He was at one of the smaller stages. He was amazing then, as he is now. So I think it's really cool that he's gonna be on main stage at ARC. So I would definitely check that set out. Then you have MK, who's actually taking over for Itch's Alba. I know there's a lot of disappointment that Itch's Alba is not gonna be there, but for me, MK has been on my wish list, my bucket list for a long time. I've been a huge MK fan. I listened to his show on BPM. No, actually not on BPM. He's on Diplo Revolution on Thursdays. So I listened to his show, and I'm so excited to finally see him live. So it's like the universe brought him to me. So I'll definitely be at that set. And then we have a personal favorite. My crew loves the Martinez brothers. They've done ARC before. I believe they did the very first year. So this will be their second time back. We've seen them as well at EDC. They're just such an amazing duo. And the last time they were here, they were at Expansions. It's one of the top sets that I've seen at ARC, so I would definitely go back and check that set out. So for me personally, that's going to be really difficult. You might see me kind of shifting in between stages because those three are kind of in my top 3 of the weekend. And last but not least, on Saturday, I did want to see this back-to-back with called Good Girls, which is Lady D, Lori Branch, and Vita Girl. That starts at 2 to 4. I'm just all for supporting female house DJs. I think that we need to see more representation. I'm all for the femme house movement. So I would definitely check out that set. And that kind of leads into 2 other artists that I want to see. One at Elro, which is Marshall Jefferson back-to-back Gene Ferris. I love Gene Ferris. Me and my mom, he's one of our top artists alongside Green Velvet. So we would definitely check him out. The last time we saw him was at Groove Cruise. He's an amazing guy. We got to meet him in person. And then LPGOB, I haven't seen her since Groove Cruise as well, so it'd be great to see her again. So probably, you know, that'll be a game time decision on where we'll be. Around 5:30, we have Basin Bucks. I think I said that right. At Elro from 5:30 to 7. Never heard of him, but I would definitely check that out. And then Derek Carter, back-to-back Mark Farina. If you know me, it's like every year Derek Carter is back at ARC because he's from Chicago. He's a legend. He's one of the like original chosen few. And I never miss his set. And I typically drag people to his set because it's so unexpected. People don't really have him on their radar, but every time I drag someone to that set, they thank me because he is just amazing. He really brings the Chicago energy. Last year he was at Expansions. It looks like he's back there, and he's doing a back-to-back with Mark Farina. I mean, it's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be great. Around the 7 o'clock mark, that's where we have another conflict. So Honey Dijon is at the grid at 6:30. Amazing artist. Again, this will be, I think, their second time at ARC, so definitely would be great to see them at the grid. I think the last time they were there, it was at Expansions. Then you have Amid Van Hilden, who is a legend in house music. I mean, when you think of those quintessential like house tracks, he's definitely in that mix. So I definitely would check him out. He's at 7 to 8:30. Then you have Hot Sits 82 back-to-back Chris Strussy at Expansions. I've seen Hot Sits 82. This will be, I think, their second time at ARC. Amazing. He was amazing the first time. He's back, and this time he's playing Expansions. I believe the first year that he was at ARC, he was at Elro. So this would be a whole different vibe, I believe. So I would definitely check it out. This, I cannot tell you how this is going to be managed. But the last 3 acts of the weekend, you have Disclosure at the grid, which is the main stage, at 8 to 10. Then you have Purple Disco Machine at Elro. What? Disco House at Elro? Oh my gosh. And then you have Carl Cox back-to-back Green Velvet at Expansions. I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to be able to do crowd control with Carl Cox back-to-back Green Velvet. That is something that you're never going to see again. Like, that is a back-to-back. I think they've only done one other back-to-back together, the two of them, and it was decades ago. So that would definitely be a set to not miss. So I'm kind of split. I feel like Disclosure, we haven't seen Disclosure in Chicago in a really long time. I might start there and then switch over and catch a little bit of Purple Disco Machine, or we may just be at Carl Cox the entire time. I don't know. It'll be a game day decision. And it might be an opportunity, if we're not feeling one or the other, that we switch. Those are the set times. Those are the things that stand out to me. But like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to breaking, you know, that schedule and going around and seeing artists that clearly I have never heard of before. I've gotten questions around transportation. I did create a reel not too long ago around what public transportation to take. If you can take public transportation, it's great. In the city, it's easy access. You can take the green line or the pink line right to Ashland and get right off. You can also take the blue line and get off at the medical district and walk down. This festival is a city festival, and it's great because unlike some other festivals, Beyond Wonderland, Chicago, which was a little bit harder to access, this one is right off of the line. So you literally only have to walk a few feet and you're right there at the entrance. So I would definitely recommend the L. You can also take buses as well. So you have the number 9 Ashland, you have the express number 9 on Ashland, and you have the 20 on Madison. So if you were, for instance, to get off at the Blue Line stop, you could take a bus that way as well, or you could come from the north and take the Ashland bus. So a lot of options. Uber is also available. Just know that you might want to to leave a little bit early so that you have a place to like get an Uber pickup in the area. In terms of the area, I mean, it is in the warehouse district right near United Center, so it's not always the best part of the city. So I would recommend, like, you know, make sure if you're picking up an Uber that you're in a well-lit area, that you're being safe about it. Now, me personally, I live in the suburbs, so I like to Spot Hero. Spot Hero is an app that you can download, and it gives you kind of discounted rates on parking that you can pay directly on the app. The one area that I park in is actually a parking garage. It's a parking garage that serves like an office building, but on the weekend and during ARC, it's not being used. So you can use Spot Hero and use those spots for the weekend, and it's great because I can make my reservation ahead of time. I know where we're gonna park, and we just walk a few blocks and we're at the festival. All right, so ARC After Dark. So if you don't already know, Aris and Radius and all of them, they definitely stepped up their game for the afters this year. They really increased the number of shows that they're offering. They're holding it at around 12 plus venues. There's over 35 shows, y'all. Like, there is something in this for everyone. Now, tickets did go on sale, and there are a lot of shows that are sold out, so I'll put up the list here that are sold out, but there's still plenty of shows left. If you're going to be choosing certain venues to go to, my recommended ones would be Radius. Radius is like a big warehouse, and also Cermak Hall, which is connected right there. There's plenty of room. It's one of the top venues for EDM music in the city. I've been there many times. If you want to know what it looks like, I have vlogs and reels and video clips and all of that stuff on my channel, so make sure you check it out. I also love Concord Hall, which is further north. It's a more intimate venue, kind of like a bar club atmosphere, but great for DJ sets. I saw Green Velvet there. I saw a Cascade Redo set there. If you want to check out my blogs just so you can see the space and the vibe, I would recommend those. But there's also a variety of other venues that are having shows. Personally, I don't necessarily like Prism because it's just more of a club atmosphere. Like, I feel like when I go there, I need to dress up, and it's just not necessarily my cup of tea for like a bigger show. It's a little cramped. And then Smart Bar, while it's a famous venue, it's very small, so, you know, expect to be crammed in there. So that's why I would recommend those if you're going to choose after shows. But y'all, virtually everyone who is on the lineup is doing a show, which is great. So if you miss somebody at ARC, you can go see their show. On top of that, they added some artists that aren't even on the lineup. So make sure you check that out and see if tickets are still available. I'm sure there's people who aren't going to be able to go to the sold out shows too. So, you know, keep an eye out on the ARC Facebook groups or the Chicago Facebook groups and the apps, because I'm sure you can get tickets still. And last but not least, you should already have booked your lodging, hopefully, by now, because we're about 2 to 3 weeks out. But if you're still looking for where to stay, I would recommend to stay on the west side of town in the West Loop. There are hotels around the medical district over there. There's also some over there by the warehouse district. This whole entire West Loop has really been built up. There's a lot of corporations there now, so that means there's a lot of new hotels. You can always Airbnb, so check those out. And because it's so connected to just transit in general and the L, for instance, you can always stay in downtown or in River North or Streeterville, in those areas by the Mag Mile, and easily get over there. So you could take an Uber, like I said, a taxi, or you could get on the L. So I would just recommend staying downtown and then picking and choosing from there. I will also make sure to link down below just a list of different hotels if you're still looking for a place to stay. But I will, in a later video, also go through some things to do in the city while you're here, regardless of what festival you're going to. So make sure you be on the lookout for that video. All right, y'all, so that's it for this video. I'm so excited about ARC. It's been a rough year, y'all. The last rave that I went to was in January. at Groove Cruise. So I'm so excited to go back to my home festival, just decompress, enjoy the end of summer. If you see me, make sure you say hi, and I hope you enjoy yourself and you enjoy being in Chicago and being at one of the best house festivals in the country. If you have any questions about ARC, make sure you comment them down below and I'll make sure to comment back. If you like this video and you found it helpful, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you want more content for me. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could share this video to anyone who you think would enjoy it, please do. I love you all so much, and as I always say, positive self, positive wealth. Bye, y'all.